It's difficult enough to catch an animal, but these are some of the biggest animals that have ever been caught. Many of these catches are record-breaking, and they look so incredible you could even mistake them for being photoshopped, but they're all totally real. I'm Charlie, and today we're going to look at 12 biggest animals ever caught. But before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have Panama Crocodile. Panama is a tiny country located in Central America, but in 2014, locals got a shock when a gigantic monster croc was caught by the Panama Canal. This was near Colon at the north end of the canal. The large crocodile had to be harnessed with gigantic strong ropes. And as you can see, passers-by as well as army personnel are taking photos of this gigantic catch. The catch was so big they actually had to temporarily close the highway. And according to PanamaGuide.com, the crocodile was later released. So make sure you don't go swimming in the Panama Canal. You might just have an encounter with a monster crocodile. Next up is bat. Right now, there's a lot of talk about bats and how dangerous they may be. That's of course because the current coronavirus began with bats. This was then spread to humans, infecting tens of thousands. But in 2015, the scariest bat of all was captured in the Philippines. Many headlines call this bat human-sized, but judging by the army personnel below it, it's a lot bigger than human size. Its wingspan is much closer to 10 humans. And this type of bat is called a giant golden-crowned flying fox bat. At first, some people thought this was the mystical chupacabra. That's actually a myth, but what's in this image is totally real and terrifying too. These bats are a species of fruit bats, and they're actually classified as megabats. Next up, we have shark. Sharks are terrifying animals, especially great white sharks. But in 2012, some Mexican fishermen put on a brave face, and they went on to capture the biggest ever great white shark. That is, the largest which has ever been captured by man. The shark was 20,000 pounds in weight and over 20 feet long. The fishermen were actually commercial fishermen hunting for other fish. But seeing as you can eat shark, I assume they made quite a lot of money from this. After the fishermen caught this animal, around 24 beachgoers hauled the animal onto ground. But it's a good thing the shark was not alive when this happened, as it could easily take out an entire village. Next up, we have squid. One day, some fishermen in New Zealand were on the Sanaspiring. This was the name of their gigantic ship. But their ship didn't look all that big when they encountered a mega squid. When people use the term sea monsters, this is what they're talking about. This catch happened in the raw sea, and the team actually gave this squid to scientists so they could study it in greater detail. The squid lived around 6,000 feet underwater, but after it was baited by the fishermen, it was able to be captured. But despite it being so big, it's actually not as difficult to capture as compared to a great white shark. That's because squids are very sedated and subdued. The way they work as a predator is to lie in wait deep below the ocean. They then wait for small fish to swim above them and then strike. Next up is rat. I'm pretty sure the one thing to make anyone, no matter how manly they are, freak out is to see a rat inside their house. That is, unless you live in New York, where you're probably used to them by now. Well, one day a gas engineer from North London made a shocking discovery. He was working on a block of flats when he saw a rat which was 4 feet long. The rat weighed around 25 pounds. Fellow gas worker James Green held it up so he could take some pictures, and they soon went viral for how scary and gross this animal is. Many think this is likely the largest rat ever caught. In some African countries, giant rats are a big problem and actually eat people while they sleep. But according to this image, it seems like it's a problem in the UK too. Yeah, probably time for me to move. Next up is snake. Countries like Cambodia are famous for having big snakes that can be caught. But of course, this happens out in the wild. However, the largest snake ever caught was actually found on a construction site in Malaysia. It took 6 workmen to secure this snake and capture it. The snake is 26 feet in length and also weighs nearly 600 pounds. And this gigantic breed of snake can actually expand its body to eat an entire human being. But thankfully for these workmen, they found the snake while it was not alive. The snake had recently laid an egg which had caused complications and thus it passed away. But if I was working in that construction site, I'd be worried about where that egg may hatch. Next up is fish. Everyone loves Nemo the fish, but would you find him as cute if he was the same size or bigger than you? Well, that's similar to what this opafish looks like. When this image went viral online, many people thought it was the largest goldfish ever. But no, instead, it's the largest opafish ever. Fisherman Joe Luglow caught this on one very lucky day, and the fish weighed nearly 200 pounds. I think it's pretty amazing that the fish was caught by an amateur fisherman in California, USA. Next up is crocodile. In 2011, an entire village in the Philippines all had to pitch in. That's because a 1-ton crocodile was scaring the villagers. The crocodile, which was 21 feet long, is thought to be one of the biggest ever caught alive. Locals were able to transport it using some wheels and wooden logs. They also had to tie it down with rope, as it could get very dangerous. They later used a crane to lift it onto a truck. 21 people were involved in the entire operation, and it kind of looks like a prop from the movie Primeval to me. Next up we have frog. Frogs are yet another animal which are pretty small and not too interesting. But check out this catch of a Goliath frog. This is a rare species of frog which is gigantic and is known for a yellow belly. The frog was around 14 inches long and weighed around 7.5 pounds. The guy who caught this does not look happy, but he should do, because this is an amazing discovery and a world record too. This frog was caught in Gabon, West Africa, and there were also a local delicacy there, so perhaps the guy ate the frog after this photo was taken. But hopefully he didn't, because these frogs are becoming endangered thanks to them being eaten so much. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Next up we have alligator. We've seen a few scary crocodiles on this list, but now let's check out the alligator. This image was taken in the alligator capital of the world, Florida, USA. Hunters were able to capture this 800-pound alligator. Believe it or not, it wasn't all the kid. You may think this is kind of mean, but the alligator had been eating many cows on their farms. The alligator is 15 feet long and very scary. Later on, they donated the meat to charity and had the creature stuffed. Not exactly the kind of home decor I would want, but each to their own. And finally on the list, we have Queensland Crocodile. Now let's head to the scary creature capital of the world, Australia. In 2016, this dinosaur-sized crocodile was captured in North Queensland. Pappenheim Patterson, who first saw this animal, actually thought it was a dinosaur at first. The person who discovered this, Pappenheim Patterson, actually thought it was a dinosaur at first. The monster is over 30 feet long, and they had to get a professional known as Crocodile Mick to wrangle this croc. And inside this crocodile's body, they found several cattle it had eaten. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Which was the most scary big animal ever caught on this list? If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.